Have you ever seen pictures of these sprawling modern cities in China that are completely empty? Gleaming skyscrapers, wide-open boulevards, beautiful public parks, but no people. These are China's famous ghost cities. The common story you hear is that they're a massive real estate bubble about to burst, a sign of epic economic failure. But what if I told you that story is wrong? What if these empty cities are not a mistake, but a deliberate, calculated strategy that forms the very backbone of China's plan for global dominance? Today, we're going to peel back the layers of this fascinating mystery and reveal a side of the story you've never heard before. Let's start with what everyone thinks they know. Western media loves to show us places like Ordos Kangbashi, a city built for 1 million people but housing only a fraction of that. They call it a spectacular failure, a monument to government overreach and wasted investment. And from a purely short-term Western capitalist perspective, they might have a point. If a developer in the US built a massive housing complex and no one moved in, they'd go bankrupt. It would be a disaster. But China doesn't play by the same rules. To understand the ghost cities, you have to understand the Chinese concept of long-term planning. We're not talking about 5 or 10-year plans. We're talking about 50 or even 100-year plans. China has undergone the largest and fastest urbanization in human history. In just a few decades, hundreds of millions of people have moved from the countryside into cities. This isn't just a trend, it's a government-directed policy. The goal is to transform China from a rural, agricultural society into a modern, urban, industrial, and technological powerhouse. But where do you put all these people? You can't just cram them into already overcrowded megacities like Beijing and Shanghai. The infrastructure would collapse, pollution would become unbearable, and the quality of life would plummet. That's a recipe for social instability, so China needed a different solution. It needed to build the future before the future arrived. This is where the ghost cities come in. They are not failures. They are future-proofing. Think of them as placeholders, giant reception halls waiting for their guests to arrive. The Chinese government identifies regions with strategic potential. Maybe they have valuable natural resources, are located along new trade routes, or are simply in areas that need economic development. Then they go all in. They don't just build a few apartment blocks. They build an entire city from scratch. Roads, bridges, subway lines, schools, hospitals, power grids, water treatment plants, the whole package. They build the complete urban ecosystem first. The people come later. This approach has several massive advantages. First, it avoids the chaotic piecemeal growth that plagues many cities around the world. Instead of constantly digging up roads to lay new pipes or build new subway lines, the infrastructure is already there, ready to handle a massive influx of people. It's infinitely more efficient. Second, it stimulates the economy in a huge way. Building these cities creates millions of jobs for construction workers, engineers, and architects. It drives demand for steel, concrete, glass, and countless other materials, fueling China's industrial engine. It's a key part of how China has maintained its incredible economic growth rate for so long. Let's look at a real-world example that proves this strategy works. The Pudong district in Shanghai. Back in the early 1990s, Pudong was mostly farmland. The government declared it a new area and started building. For years, critics called it a ghost town, a colossal waste of money. The skyscrapers were empty, the streets were quiet. Sound familiar? But look at Pudong today. It's the financial heart of China, one of the most vibrant and important economic centers in the entire world, home to over 5 million people. The ghost town of yesterday is the thriving metropolis of today. This isn't a one-off. The same story is playing out in cities across the country, like the Zhengdang New area in Zhengzhou. It was once labeled a ghost city, but now it's a bustling hub with a population well over 1 million. So these cities are not just sitting there gathering dust. They are filling up, sometimes faster than anyone expected. The government uses a combination of incentives to encourage people and businesses to move. They might offer tax breaks for companies, subsidized housing for new residents, or build world-class universities to attract students and faculty. They're essentially curating the population, carefully seeding these new urban centers with the talent and industry they need to flourish. It's a nationwide game of SimCity, but played with real cities and real people. But there's an even bigger, more strategic layer to all this. It's about shifting China's economic and demographic center of gravity. For centuries, China's development has been concentrated along its eastern coast. This has created a huge wealth gap between the rich coastal provinces and the poorer inland regions. This imbalance is a potential source of social tension. The ghost city strategy is a powerful tool to rebalance the country. By building new modern cities in central and western China, the government is creating new poles of economic growth, spreading prosperity inward, and connecting the entire country in a way that has never been done before. These new cities are crucial nodes in the Belt and Road Initiative, China's ambitious plan to create a new network of global trade routes. They are the domestic launchpads for China's international ambitions. Of course, this strategy isn't without risks. There is a real estate debt issue in China, and some developments have certainly been more successful than others. Not every ghost city will become the next Pudong. Some may take decades to fill up, and some might struggle to find their economic purpose. It's a high-stakes gamble. But to dismiss the entire strategy as a failure is to fundamentally misunderstand China's long-term vision. They are not building for the next quarter's financial report. They are building for the next generation. They are building the physical foundation for a future where China is the world's undisputed economic and technological leader. While Western countries grapple with aging infrastructure, political gridlock, and short-term thinking, China is quietly building the cities of the 21st century. These so-called ghost cities are not eerie monuments to miscalculation. They are the silent, concrete evidence of a nation with a clear, long-term plan. They are the dormitories, factories, and innovation hubs of tomorrow, waiting patiently for their inhabitants. The next time you see a picture of an empty Chinese city, don't see a failure, see a loading screen. See the silent, powerful backbone of a rising superpower patiently preparing for its moment. What do you think? Is this a genius long-term strategy, or a reckless gamble that could still go wrong? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this different perspective, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. See you next time.